really there, right? Any money to do such a thing. Well, yes, we're getting these old games back that you like, the new HD facelift, but at the same time, we're also having a whole bunch of other games that are taking on practices that were made fun of in these games that came out in the 90s in the first place. If that's not dramatic irony, I don't know what the heck is. With your in-game currency. Was going to be heading, probably wouldn't believe you. The fact that it ended up becoming a reality for all of us just blows my dang mind. And honestly sounds like some sort of sick prank, really. Like a joke. It's gone horribly wrong. I was forgetting something. Of course, we can't just roast the buns of a big corporation with freaking dragon fire or nothing like that, no. We're just normal people. The best we got is, like, mass protest, I guess. Not buying the games in general, if they really don't tickle our fancy. Star Wars Battlefront 2, anyone? I'm not even all that into Star Wars, but what they were doing in that game was just some BS, man. I can totally see Moneybags doing it. If he actually, like, ran a company that makes stuff like that. It's actually kind of funny. No. It's hoping for a backwards path. So yeah, I kind of got to thinking, you know? It's on a Discord chat the other day, talking about new features in that whole Spyro remake coming out, probably this year. You know, it's Spyro's 20th anniversary, like this game won't crashes. And that's when you got thinking about Moneybags and his whole deal. You know that bear with the satchel of money he always carries around everywhere? Well, this thing kind of realized about him. So, when you first meet him in Spyro 2, there's this bridge that's out, right? And he offers to open it up for a small fee. Note that phrase. I think it might be a meme. So of course you pay the guy, he opens up the bridge, and you cross, go on with the rest of the level. And you think that's it, right? That's probably just a one-off thing, probably no big deal. But then he comes back in the hub world. There's this whole section where you have to go underwater, but you can't swim underwater. Spyro never learned how to do that on his own. So this bear, right? He's talking like, well, yeah, sure, I could show you how to swim for a small fee. So you pay the man his small dang fee so you can swim underwater and move on with the rest of the game. You probably think that's it. But no, he just keeps coming back. Next hub world, he's paying you to climb. Then the next hub world, he's paying you to, you have to pay in order to use this skull bash move in order to break some rocks and proceed through the next few levels. Well, the last few levels, really. And yeah, sure, at the end of the game, Laura forces him to give back all those gems. But then he comes back in the third game, and this time, he's working with the villain. He has other characters locked up in cages, and you have to pay him in gems just to have them be let out so they can be free. Like, he's literally imprisoning people. You have to pay for their freedom. And sure, they get to beat them up afterwards. Heck, you even get to beat them up eventually. You're still in the dragon egg. But that's the whole thing about it that kind of rubs me the wrong way about it, you know? It's like... essentially, you're not only paying for their freedom in a way, it was more like you were paying for them as characters. You're paying for extra characters. You're paying for new abilities. You're paying to unlock more of the game. Moneybags is essentially the kind of doing the kind of business practices that we'd be getting on big corporations' faces on for doing in our games with our real money nowadays. All those DLC and such. Back in the day, you used to have all your playable characters in the game right from the get-go. Back in the day, you would have like extra bonus features hidden behind cheat codes and stuff. Maybe you had to use a game shark to get some of the more secret stuff they didn't want you to get to. These days, it's just, yeah, just pay some money, and we'll give you this. Pay some money, we'll give you that. Basically, everything is a small fee now. And don't get me wrong, I don't think DLC is essentially bad. It's just that it seems like nowadays it's more or less replaced unlockable content. Now you have to pay for the extra content instead of unlocking it through playing the game and having some skill, knowing how to get through it and basically earn the extra stuff. Or just know the codes to get to them. It's kind of sad, really. It was always kind of cool doing stuff like that. It's like, oh, there's this secret bonus thing in the game that you can only get to if you pull out some fancy tricks and stuff. Okay, you put in some codes, maybe master the game, and you get this cool bonus stuff. It was awesome. You don't get that nowadays. Everything extra you have to pay for with money, even though you already paid for the game to begin with. I swear this whole thing with invisible platforms is just really screwing with me, man. I didn't think I'd get that in 3D platformers too. And granted, this is basically just a side-scroller from a third-person perspective, more or less, but still. Yeah, that's something that's been bugging me. EA is basically to modern gamers what Moneybags was to Spyro 20 years ago. It's gone full circle. We've gone so deep in the 90s nostalgia, it's actually both benefiting and to our detriment at the same dang time. Because we're getting all the best and worst ways. Like, no one wants a real-life Moneybags. At least no one who actually, you know, buys and plays the video games. The publishers, they just don't care. Just want all the money, man. It's like the whole MO now. So I guess in a way, Moneybags as a character was kind of an omen. That we should be careful and wary of people who want to sell stuff to us. Because you never know if they're just gonna put a whole bunch of content in the thing you want to buy behind some paywalls and such. Sometimes there's literal paywalls, like literally you can't cross this bridge unless you pay money. That was like the first one. So yeah, definitely some food for thought. Especially since there's going to be a lot of younger gamers out there these days who probably never knew what it was like to not have to pay extra for all the extra content and just already have it in there just hidden. And they probably just look at old games like this and are like, oh, that's cool. They actually did some extra stuff in there. How come we don't get that in stuff that's made now? I mean, this game in particular, for example, Coco was never playable in the original Crash Bandicoot. Kind of just added her in for the remake as a bonus, I guess. Probably because it always seemed kind of odd that she was around from Crash 2 and Crash 3, but she only really playable in like certain levels. And didn't become fully playable until Wrath of Cortex, and by then, Dog wasn't even involved anymore. I don't know, I always found it kind of odd. You got this female character right here, but you're not really doing much with her, you know? Until the 4th game. Still a lot of extra lives. Yeah, I say that if you ever needed an incentive for playing the remake over the original, probably the fact that you can play as Coco. That's pretty cool. With that aside though, there might be some things about the original you probably want to prefer to play that one for. I mean, I know that despite there only being like a couple of reveal trailers and such, I've already noticed there's a lot of differences. I've already been noticing a lot of differences between the original and remake for Spyro right now. And I think a lot of that kind of has to do with just the whole thing about the differences in the technology, different creative directions, because it's obviously not the same people, and even if it was, there's no guarantee that it's going to be doing the exact same thing. And I want to make some changes for their all-new enhanced version, you know? Like, look at Sonic Adventure, for example. Like, the director's cut looks totally different. So yeah, well, I do have my concerns about the Spyro remake. Well, with Spyro being one of my first games ever. I guess it's kind of a personal gripe, really. I just found it kind of funny, you know? Like, I look at all those classic Sonic fans that were upset about Sonic's design in Sonic 4. It's like they're really being nitpicky, not minute details. And while I don't think I really sympathize with them too much, I guess I kind of get where it's coming from about the whole changing things up too much and making it seem like something entirely different from what it originally was. Because let's be honest, Sonic 4 was pretty much nothing like the Genesis games. Which really kind of just begs the question, did they never play Sonic Advance or something? I mean, despite having the adventure aesthetics, it was pretty much more or less a classic game. Give or take some extra moves for the characters. And really, I guess the whole problem with Sonic 4 wasn't so much that it didn't look like classic Sonic, despite a complaint from specific fans that were kind of just being real nitpicky. The problem was really more with the mechanics. It was literally just the Sonic Rush gameplay, but without the boost that made it interesting in the first place, rather than proper classic physics. Because really, I don't think it really matters what art style they use, which model of Sonic they're using. It matters that it plays well. And if you're gonna call it Sonic 4, you might want to make sure it kind of lines up with how Sonic 3 was kind of repping itself and kind of build from there, not just make a poor man's Sonic Rush. I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, well, I never played the original. I've noticed a few things about Crash here. Things seem a lot brighter. Like in terms of the overall aesthetics with the colors and such. Due to the dynamic lighting, it doesn't really seem as like dramatic with the light and shadow as the original was on PS1, where you had to kind of place the shadows manually and such with gradients or something. Because nowadays, with today's technology, you can have shadows anywhere you want. You can actually have like realistic lighting and all that. And just look at all this. You can see everything's got like proper shadows everywhere. There's just actual sunlight coming from a certain angle. Granted, you can't just do that by itself. This is a early 3D platformer. You kind of need the drop shadow to be there regardless of where the light's coming from, because you kind of rely on it to know where you're going to land. Sonic at least could probably learn from that. The dang pipe section. Unleashed. That really gave me trouble.
What have we got?
I know what I'm talking about, right? Is that one pipe section in Eggman Land? I swear, to this day, that part always seems to get me. It makes it nearly impossible to get a perfect run on this stage. There's no death run. Okay, let's see how well I can make this jump. Alright. Yeah, drop shadow. Crucial. Whew. Yeah, they just... Did they really leave the key behind? I have to do this whole stage over again. I think I'm even gonna keep that part in the recording. At least I'll have the gem. I could have sworn this level was a lot harder for me before. Alright. Guess I have to go back for that thing, key. So did I actually get it? I don't think I got it. Did I? Nope, I didn't get it.